This podcast contains adult language, descriptions of violence, sexual references, and other possibly offensive themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to this episode of Back to the Story, where friends come together to play Dungeons and Dragons. I'll be your DM, Klaus. Let's get started.
When you see God's Rust surrounded by armies,
I'm sorry I couldn't buy us more time.
then know that its dissolution has come near.
I mean, I have great faith in the gods. I think that no matter what happens, they're going to triumph over this.
Then let those who are upon the pinnacle flee to the mountains.
And it's not really our place to judge, but to serve.
And let those who are inside the city depart.
I think if you gave me a few days, I could learn enough deep speech to try.
And let not those who are out in the forest enter it.
I'm an archaeologist. Disrespecting the dead is kind of what I do.
For these are the days of vengeance,
I just want to know what the fuck I am.
to fulfill all that is written.
Do not heed the visions of false prophets. Do not become what they want you to become.
Alright, Scales. It's up to you now. You've got this.
I didn't think it'd be true life.
You didn't think we'd actually go through with it?
No, I definitely did not think that. But here we are.
It's premeditated murder.
You're gonna murder someone again. Holy rollers, murder someone. Okay, that sounds good. That's cool. I'm cool with that. You're ready for whatever that thing's called, and then the other thing, and then we'll play. Good? Yeah? Alright. What are we playing? We are playing Call of Monster of the Week. The vision opens upon a night forest of blue evergreens dusted with frost. It shifts through the trees until we see the edge of the tree line. Across an open field of snow there is a city on the other side. Massive ancient white stone walls, towers and castles rise up within it. A gentle snow begins to fall from the midnight sky. Flakes like the tears of those to come drift aimlessly down upon the shoulders of two figures. One stands slender and short, grey robes, and the other in gilded armor. The snow builds upon their shoulders as the vision pans to see behind them. A dark forest of pines filled with the creaking of wind and bone and the glowing of green eyes. Hundreds await their siege. The vision follows as the gilded man walks towards the high-fest gate, drawing a black blade. Open your gates to me, or I shall break them open. The vanguards laugh before drawing their own axes and swords, charging towards the lone attacker. Time dilates as the gilded man raises his sword before his face, steadying his breath, adjusting his footing. And as the vanguards reach him, time rushes forth as he spins into a dance of metal, blood, and death. White snow and fresh red blood dance along around him, jubilant in the death throes of the vanquished. Remembrance of Vanguard Cardinal Ison. Previously, as the Bronze-Scales finished compiling evidence against the princes of Volrath and the more nefarious citizens of Embershore, they presented their findings to the Marshal of the Covenant, Wilrish Rothburn. Wilrish sent various squads to arrest the still living princes of Volrath while requesting the Scales neutralize or otherwise get rid of the Soul Vault in the cathedra beneath the winery. After Ball smashed the statues of the demon Tiv Mur and of the Rakshasa Alrath, he also lifted the massive copper vat containing the grey matter into the sphere, with a little help from Felix's floating disc, or levitate, whatever spell it was. Vesper and Felix washed themselves clean of the fiendish curse in the salty ember sea with the aid of Voltamari before Ellery and Vesper confronted their fathers about their missing mothers. We come back to the story here. Felix has now delivered fully the prophecies he's collected and researched through Aeon to the rest of the Bronze Scales. You've all been discussing them outside of the Abbey, about their possibilities before settling on your next steps. As the afternoon is fading and the sun is just hanging in the sky, Embershore rests on the edge of a storm. Dark clouds are beginning to form and roll over the city as the high winds charge mist and pulses around the buildings and through the alleyways. And beyond the shore, the waves are white-capping over the glowing emberstones. What would you like to do?
All right, so we wanted to get or at least attempt to get your equipment back before taking on whatever's inside that tank. So, what do you need to do other than go get your friend Melly?
Make sure we're equipped enough for an ambush in case that's waiting. Have a backup plan in case they've taken all of our stuff.
Well, I don't think you should disarm yourselves and walk into a prison again if you were considering that option.
Do we have a way to locate our objects? We don't find them when we arrive. Locate object.
I have the spell, but I don't know that I would be able to locate any of your objects as I've never seen them.
I don't have that right now.
You helped me find the egg when it was on the ship.
Oh, actually, I can prepare that because I can't count out of character and didn't prepare all my spells. So you know what? If I may, I will have locate object.
I can always count on you to be prepared, Vesper. So it sounds like we'll get ready, maybe do some pre-buffs so we don't get any kind of surprise ambush, and get there, and if our stuff isn't there, try a last-ditch effort to locate object and see if that gets us anything.
I think that's fair. I mean, it's been a while. I highly doubt there's anything living waiting for us, but if, as you say, they have undead, they may have left some behind.
Yeah.
Vesper, in order to just make sure you're not quite so helpless in the next fight, do you want to hang on to my dagger?
I'm rarely helpless in a fight, but sure, I'll take it.
Well, I've only had a few with you, to be fair, but like 1/3 of them so far.
I was in handcuffs?
Take the dagger.
Yeah, I am.
Yes, Felix, we all know that you're better than everyone.
Oh, no, I have fault as well, and I'm happy to point out my own once fault in front of you.
Right, are we doing anything else to prepare before we go, or are we just going?
Should probably cast a couple of defensive spells before we go. Anything that, lasts a couple of minutes or higher, or longer.
Probably as Millie finishes casting, because it does take her a while to make the circle.
I do have a protective spell that I could cast on one person, but I'm thinking maybe I ought to just have a fireball ready to go as soon as we step through if we see anything. If I focus on that might be a better option.
Well, why don't we go try and find your friend, make sure she's ready, and we'll prep as she's drawing her circle.
Okay. So it sounds like you'll head towards Warm Garden, the district that has some of the nicer manors and houses where the teleportation circle and likely Melly are likely to be found. Heading into the district, you see again all the murals and the finely orchestrated gardening, the use of emberstones for lighting and accents, and eventually come to Norbel Tower that has the fairly large courtyard and around. It's kind of a small complex compound where there are some, looks like, private Covenant guards outside the gates. They kind of spot you as you're approaching. Yeah, what can I do for you?
We are here to see Melly Fotsky.
Hold on a second. And that guard enters into the compound. A couple minutes pass. And about 5 minutes later, the gate opens again. That guard steps out, and you see the bright red hair, blue dress, and large, thick glasses. Melly. She'll greet you, throws her arms around you.
Hello.
Hey, what can I do for you?
Well, how do you feel about doing some traveling today?
Oh, I can always get around.
Are you ready to go back to Nymunet?
Well, under Nymunet.
It wouldn't be my first choice, but sure, let's get out of here. Now?
Yeah, we're just hoping for a quick in and out to grab the things that we left behind.
Right, I can just put some of my stuff up. Do you want to do it? I have to put some of my things up. Should I meet you at the Abbey, or would you want to do it? I could do it in here, though, if you need to go right now.
Do you think they would let me in, considering I did help foil an assassination plot against Frank Norbel?
I mean, probably, yeah.
Okay.
Being honest.
Well, there's an upside to all this.
Well, just going to point out Vesper has to attune to that dagger, so maybe we go wait at the Abbey.
Or we could get some drinks.
And you could choose the bar, Felix.
Melly, where does your family drink?
They don't drink too often, mostly at home or at banquets and such.
Melly drinks at the Copper Sail.
I do, from time to time.
Great. The Copper Sail.
Alright, I'll meet you there.
Don't worry, Felix. I'll make sure they don't serve you the watered-down stuff.
Okay.
It's fine, I have my own bottle.
So you guys head over back to the Copper Sail, settle in, get yourself a drink, and for the sake of expediency, a few minutes later, Melly comes back finishing whatever she had to finish up and greets you in the Copper Sail. The sun is beginning to set, and on your way back from Warm Garden, as you're walking back, the rain has begun to fall. It starts out pretty light, but the wind is kind of pushing it sideways, even though the quantity isn't that much. But you are finding half of yourself soaked in rain by the time you get back to the Copper Sail. Inside, it's not terribly busy, but people are stopping in. But that one private room is currently unoccupied, since it's early in the evening, if you want to use that.
That is probably the place to go.
Okay. You'll squeeze in there with 6 of you. It's a bit tight, especially when one is ball, but you're able to kind of squeeze in there, push everything to the corners, and close the door.
Is there enough room in here for us to actually clear space for the circle?
Ball's going to have to take that table, lift it on its side, at least. So there's kind of a table in the center, which you'll have to move out of the way. Okay. Do that pretty easily. So, Nymunet. Beneath it?
Melly, do you know a circle that's not beneath it?
Not anywhere nearby.
I guess that means that we can't smash the circle while we're there. Because we're going to have to... We're going to have to be able to get back there relatively quickly. Not taking a long journey.
Well, there is that elevator ride if you're going back to the city. Nymunet. Very long.
Isn't the prophecy fairly clear we're supposed to stay away from Nymunet?
Well, we still have to go talk to people there, don't we? You know, warn people ahead of time?
Clear them out of the city? Let them flee to the mountains and the forests, or whatever the wording is?
I'm going to give you a little bit of advice. Don't count on prophecy convincing the masses. Particularly not people in power.
And while you guys are discussing this, Melly has begun forming the teleportation circle, drawing with chalk at your feet.
I'm going to cast Mage Armor on myself while she's doing that.
All right.
And when she's getting to the end of it, I'm going to be ready to cast Fireball if I see anything hostile when we go through.
Okay.
And I will cast See Invisibility on myself.
Okay. So you guys cast those spells, use those spell slots, even if you're kind of holding on to releasing the spell itself, as Melly finishes up, and you can see the runes.
Ball will cast Protection from Evil and Good on himself, just so I don't miss out on that, and then continue, sorry.
Sure.
I'm going to do the same.
Cool. You guys are all doing your preparatory spells and actions. As Melly finishes the last of the runes that begin to glow as she kind of reads out these words and lighting up each rune individually. And you see the ground in between, in the circle itself inside, begin to shimmer, and you can see the wooden floor of the copper sail begins to turn gray and hard and begins to look like stone as the light of the runes begin to glow bright. The floor shimmers as if water being jostled, rippling through as you jump in. There's a rushing force and a twisting of your stomach, so you're starting to get used to it. That's still new each time, before you suddenly come to rest, and it's pitch black. Those of you with dark vision can kind of see around in this pretty tight chamber. Stone inner chamber, stone walls, just big enough to fit this teleportation circle and a small desk with no light sources.
I'll grab for Amson's hand. Are we alone? Is it safe?
I think so. I'll reach for my lantern.
I will cast Dancing Lights.
Okay. As the lantern light comes out and then dancing lights come from Felix, illuminating the area, you first see the illuminated room, small room you're in, the teleportation room itself. Looks about as you left it. Everything's still. Don't hear anything. The desk over there, pretty clean. You do see a piece of paper on the top with something laying on it. Something long. As you look over, you do see the glaive that Ball left on top of the table. The dancing lights expand into the next chamber beyond, where there's some rubble that you remember, a turned over table from the conflict, some blood still splattered along the floor, but otherwise empty.
So the glaive is the only thing left behind. All of the rest of our stuff is gone.
You see a glaive resting on top of a piece of paper.
Shit.
Ball will walk up to it and try to read the piece of paper.
You just pick it up?
I look at it. Well, especially if you put it that way.
It's a folded piece of paper.
Yeah, Ball will pick it up.
Okay. You pick it up. Nothing happens. You unfold the paper, and you see script. It's written in common. There's a few mistakes spelling here or there. I don't know if Paul notices them or not. But it says, "Consider this an olive branch. Contact me, and we'll go from there. Signed, Braun."
What?
Piece of shit.
I didn't tell you what the letter said.
Okay, fine.
It's the receipt for the glaive.
Vesper's looking on the floor in every corner, light on my holy symbol. I'm trying to find that ring that Calvin made me. See if it fell, if it was left.
Okay. You can make an investigation check if you want.
Can I help her also looking for stuff?
Yeah, you can roll separate or aid.
Can I have advantage? Or you're actually probably smarter.
I'll roll separate. Yeah.
Because I only rolled a 9.
Very good investigation. And I've rolled that 3, so it's a 10.
You guys look around. Looks like everything's been cleared out. There wasn't much in this room to begin with, so there's not many places where anything could fall or hide.
They took Ezekiel's staff.
They did leave the glaive and a note from Braun.
They didn't just kill that bastard?
He says this is an olive branch. I think it's a glaive.
Oh boy.
Well, we can at least take that back with us.
Do I risk sending a message to him? It might just let them know that we're back here.
Let's do that after we've left.
Okay.
So I have a question. I'm not sure from my memory, but I remember you describing murals, and I don't remember if those were down in the hallways here or up above at the top of the elevator.
There were some at both. Most of them, that I think you're remembering, were at the top of the elevator.
I would like to go out into the hallway and see if I can take a look for those.
Okay. You can go out into the hallway. You can see carved on the large doors and along the halls leading into this chamber, there are carvings, inscriptions, embossment.
And am I remembering correctly that at least some of them had gems for eyes?
Some of them did. You see, there are a few in here as well, in the eyes of these dwarven-looking figures. You can also see where it looks like metals, like iron and copper and steel, have been used to make beards and stuff like that. Beards and weapons have actually been filled into the walls.
I am going to go up to them and just start prying out the left eye, just the left eye, of as many of those as I can.
Okay. So you begin to do that. As Ellery is walking out and doing that, what are the rest of you guys doing?
Ball is attuning to the glaive. Actually, is there a limit to how many items we can attune to?
3.
Okay, I'm going to make sure I can attune to it, and that's what I'll be checking.
Yeah.
So, do we destroy the circle or not?
I don't think we should yet, right? We may need to come back.
What if it's their entrance into the city?
That's a good point. Maybe we should. 12-hour elevator ride is better than an entire army teleporting in.
There are pros and cons to each option. It gives us a swift way back, but it may give them the means to get someone inside unaware. I doubt this is how they're getting their army here, but they will know it, and they could plan some way to get men on the inside.
And if they bring people here onto this side, then this circle is no longer a convenience for us.
Let's destroy it.
Will we need to go back there?
We'll figure something else out. Could we alter it somehow, change the runes so we can still use it, but they wouldn't know the new pattern? I don't really know how Arcana works.
I think that would take time. The circle is developed by casting it every day for a year. To change it like that, I imagine, would still take time.
So we ruin it? That's the best way, most efficient way, right?
That would be my advice. We'd have to find another way back, but I think that's more likely than this not being used against the city.
We could probably, in case they did send somebody already and infiltrate somebody in, we could probably destroy this circle, teleport back, and then possibly warn them with a sending spell that to keep an eye out for, people from the fallen world, just in case. I say we destroy it.
That's 3 for 5, Ball.
If you think it's best.
I'll poke my head out. Ellery?
Yeah?
We're gonna destroy the circle, is that cool?
How are we planning on getting back here next time?
We'll figure that out later. We don't want people sneaking in though while we're not around.
Fuck.
Let's have a better idea.
I do not have a better idea.
Okay. And lastly, I will turn to Melly.
To learn this one, but if you think it's best.
I'm gonna wander in with however many gems I was able to pry out of the wall so far.
Let's resolve that, actually.
Okay.
So, as they were discussing that, and you came out to try to pluck out as many left eyes as you could, the murals are pretty big, so the ceiling's about 20 feet tall in there, and the murals are pretty big, so the eyes are up high. So were you climbing? Were you trying to shoot them down?
If she wants, Samson can rip off a patch and give her a ladder.
No, just Legend of Zelda it and just use like a slingshot.
I mean, the wall is like carved in and embossed, so there are handholds. So it's not like a slick wall, but it's not the easiest thing in the world. So how did you want to approach it, or did you just give up when you saw that?
When I saw that, I probably would have asked Ball for help, like to get up on his shoulders.
Okay, so sure. Okay. Okay, so in that case, give me just a straight dexterity check.
Okay.
They try to like pop these things out without damaging the gem.
Do you think my proficiency with the jeweler's tools would help?
I'm going to say not on this first time popping gems out of walls. But maybe next time.
I need my light so I can actually see what I roll. Dex, you said?
Yes.
16.
Okay. So there are kind of 3 dwarf figures on each side, both all facing towards the circle. So the 3 on the right side would have their left eyes facing you, and so you can pop those 3 out. There's a ruby one, a emerald one, and then a sapphire.
Okay.
Did you pop out? And I'll text you the rough dollar amount, you being a jewelry person.
Jeweler, jewelsmith, something like that.
A gem lord. And at that point is when Vesper pops in and asking about the circle. So we'll drop back into that moment.
Well, I guess they're not going to see my vandalism then, but I'll know.
So, almighty Melly and Felix are brains. Can we just smash this thing using ball, or do we need to do something to dispel the magic here?
I mean, if ball can crack the earth underneath it, that would probably be the most effective way. We could try other means if it doesn't work, but...
I think that'd be, that'd crack open what's holding the magic. And if it's still there, we can dispel it then. Sounds reasonable.
Ball will get the maul out. The maul looks pretty durable. Like, if I try to hit the ground with the maul, my maul's not going to shatter in half or something, is it?
No, it looks like it is,
huge.
It's huge, and it looks like it's been temper forged in a way. You can see like dents and stuff on it. This thing doesn't need a sharp edge. So there's dents and stuff all over the maul. It's meant to just be tough and not hard. So it is not brittle at all. You could smash all day and just put little marks on it without damaging it too much.
Perfect. So Ball will try to smash the ground with the huge maul.
Give me a attack roll with it.
Can I give him a portent?
If you'd like.
Okay, I'll give him my 14.
Great. So that'd be 11 bludgeoning. If I can, I will add like Phoenix Blade Fire onto it, which, if you'd like the damage, would be an extra 6 fire damage.
Okay. So Ball starts smashing and whacking the ground, and it does take you a few smashes to crack the stone for each room, and there's several of them. So this is going to take you, Ball, a little bit, but you're going to be able to do it.
If I watch him struggling, I will cast Elemental Weapon and give him thunder damage to help break things apart.
Yeah.
As Ball smashes, he silently or quietly says, "Smash. Boom. Boom. Boom."
And after Felix's help, when you hit now, there's kind of a loud bang that echoes throughout this chamber and the next and the one beyond it. But it does seem to crack up the stone a little bit quicker. So you can probably do it in about half an hour as opposed to an hour.
Felix just sits down with a bottle of wine and watch Ball smash.
Yep.
Okay. So you guys watch as Ball does this, and each time he hits the rooms directly, it cracks open and a little bit of like translucent energy kind of smokes out of it. And with each room fully destroyed, it kind of releasing a larger burst of it. And after about a half hour of doing this, these loud concussive smashes against the floor over and over and over and over again, eventually Ball, probably sweaty at this point, kind of heaves the maul to the side and all the rooms are gone. And you have a little bit of tinnitus.
Nicely done, Ball.
What?
I wasn't fucking talking to you, Felix.
What?
So, are we planning on taking that fucking elevator up, or are we just going home?
Do we want to contact Braun while we're here, since he can't use the circle now?
What would we even fucking say to him?
Where the fuck is our shit? And also, fuck you, you piece of shit, asshole.
Let me ask you this question. Is there any scenario where you're going to walk into whatever trap to get your stuff back? What is important among it?
Absolutely not.
I'd like to deal with the brain first. Braun doesn't know, or won't know, when we arrive or don't arrive. If we wait another day, he won't know any better.
That's true.
Yeah.
I really don't like the thought of him having Ezekiel's staff, but...
Or that ring. Calvin's gonna kill me if we run into him.
Tell him it was my fault. I'm the one who told you to leave it.
Yeah, but I'm the one who listened.
Yes, I'm sure there's a lot of sentimental value that you've lost. However, is there anything that's going to affect this mission?
Probably not. Let's go back to Embershore, and we can figure things out there.
Or do we want to deal with it here? It's in the sphere. We're miles under Nymunet.
I don't mind. I'm warmed up.
I may have been a little bit more judicious with my spells, but I have enough.
It's fine with me.
Though if we go back to Nymunet, we can try and get that acid from Lysander. Said he had some.
Embershore.
Yes, is that not what I said? Sorry.
No, you said Nymunet.
It's getting late.
I mean, we would still have to break it open in order to get the acid in, and it would get so diluted by that fluid. I'm not sure if we're just going to try and find a place safe outside of anywhere, this is as good as any.
Alright, and I guess Amson will start taking out the sphere then.
Okay, easy enough. Roll a take out a pocket check.
I'm going to use luck.
Shit. Yes, waste all the luck.
So we're going in there to fight it, right? Cool.
That was my understanding.
Do we want to look around a little bit and make sure there isn't anything further out in the hallways, or...
I mean, we've been sitting here for a half an hour. I assumed we kind of did that.
I suppose all that thunder would have attracted anything that was down here, or scared it away.
And I should still have time left on see invisibility, so there's no worry there. Worst that happens, some creature comes along and eats it.
Alright, let's go.
Okay, where are y'all placing this sphere?
We should hide it somewhat, like along against a wall, somewhere kind of hidden and tucked away.
Not in the teleportation room?
Yeah, probably underneath that flipped over table in the other room, or something like that. Just like, or underneath the pile of rubble, or something like that.
So where do you put it?
Let's go with underneath the table.
Rubble. Or there. I'm gonna put it underneath the pile of rubble.
Other option to kind of make it easier, Melly can watch the crystal outside, so we don't have to deal with it.
Bless you. Yes, she offers. She agrees.
All right.
I mean, it'd be nice, but I don't want to Jaeger her.
Yeah.
Nor do I. I do not want to cast Frostbite over and over again because I don't know what else to do. All right, so Melly has it. She'll protect it. She's cool. She's a good girl. Well, besides Calstatic. Okay, so Melly has it. You guys enter in no problem since you all have permission. And inside you are in the sort of deep crimson brown stone floored sphere. The statue of Allwrath is rubble, just some feet left. The table is still there, and the bookshelf is still there, and the desk, with the vat in the center where Ball placed it.
Are we ready?
I will actually, before we start, cast invisibility on myself and Vesper.
Before you do that, I would love to cast protection from evil and good on Ball, because I imagine he'll be the one opening this.
If his didn't run out.
I would have definitely run out. I was going to cast it again, but if you cast it on me, then I'll probably cast it on you.
Perfect. We'll high five and cast on each other, and then...
Well, holy five.
I'm probably not... I don't know if I'm going to get much use out of Storm Sphere in here. So, I will cast Protection from Evil and Good on Amson.
Thank you.
See invisibility should have at least a minute or two left on it. It's an hour, not concentration, and I'm going to maintain elemental weapon for now for Ball.
So how are y'all gonna try to open this thing?
Rub it.
You rub it 3
bottle.
times and nothing happens.
Well, doesn't get bigger.
There's something wet and slimy on the small window before it fades into the murky liquid.
That was nice.
I mean, I hate to always be a broken record, but Ball, you want to hit the window?
Okay, if we're ready. One turn, assuming everyone's ready, one turn before he does, he will cast Blade Ward on himself, and then he, with his maul, will smash the window.
When I see him cast Blade Ward, I cast Sanctuary on myself.
Okay. Everyone go ahead and roll initiative. So I can have that.
Oh boy. Not great.
Wow, Ball is above 5. It's amazing. I've never seen it. Ellery always gets crazy high rolls. And I thought she had a high modifier,
No.
but apparently you
I just
roll well.
rolled a
Roll
19.
Easy enough. And Ball, give me what's that thing called? A attack roll.
That's actually a 25 because of elemental weapon. I think that adds a +1 if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a 25.
Okay.
And it would be with my Phoenix Blade. It'll be 12 bludgeoning. You said it's thunder damage, right? So 12 bludgeoning, 1 thunder, 5 fire.
Okay. Well, since we're about to get into this, why don't we go ahead and take our break now? A little early, but that way it's not halfway in a possible conflict that may or may not happen. Yeah? Okay.
I don't like the brain.
Can I retcon add a bonus action on my previous turn to burst into flames?
Well, yeah, we'll see. I'll think about it. How about that? Give you something to mull over. But probably. Okay, we'll come back at... What do you want to come back at?
9:12.
Yeah, sounds good. 25, maybe?
25? Okay. 25 it is. 9:25 sold to the 9:25er. Roger for being the break boy, and I will see you guys at 9:25.
Next time, on Back to the Story.
As you all are hearing this humming, this zoom, you instantly feel a painful migraine. I need all of you to make intelligence saving throws. Whoever's left not stunned, see Amazon drop to the ground, with the neurons still attached to Ellery and Felix.
Where's your holy symbol?
This is my new holy symbol.
For part 2 of this episode of Back to the Story, you can find it on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you prefer to get your podcasts. We also have a YouTube channel called Back to the Story, an actual play podcast. If you'd like to support the show, feel free to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/backtothestory.